Life begins with a code, invisible, silent, and powerful. Inside every cell lies a story written in 4 letters, A, T, C, and G. This is DNA, the blueprint that builds you, shapes you, and connects you to every living thing on Earth. Today, we uncover 100 facts that reveal how your DNA defines who you truly are. Chapter 1. DNA is the code of life, a long, twisting ladder of information inside every cell. It decides your eye color, your height, even how you react to caffeine. Every human shares 99.9% of the same DNA, yet the 0.1% makes you unique. If you stretched your DNA, it would reach the sun and back many times. It's fragile but powerful. One mistake can cause disease. One change can shape evolution. Chapter 2. Your DNA is packed inside the nucleus of nearly every cell. To fit, it coils tightly around proteins called histones, like thread around spools. Together, they form chromosomes, 23 pairs in humans. Half come from your mother, half from your father. When cells divide, DNA copies itself with astonishing precision. But tiny errors, called mutations, are the sparks of both diversity and disease. Chapter 3. The double helix shape of DNA was discovered in 1953 by James Watson and Francis Crick, with key data from Rosalind Franklin. That spiral design isn't just pretty. It's a perfect mechanism for storage and replication. Each rung of the ladder is made of 4 bases, A, T, C, and G. Their sequence is like biological code, programming everything from your fingerprints to your metabolism. Chapter 4. Every living thing, from the tiniest bacterium to the tallest tree, uses DNA. The difference lies in how those 4 letters are arranged. Humans share about 60% of their DNA with bananas and around 98% with chimpanzees. It's not the ingredients that make us unique, but the recipe. The order of the bases writes the story of life, species, and evolution. Chapter 5. When scientists read your DNA, they perform sequencing, decoding the order of bases. Modern machines can now sequence a whole human genome in just hours. The Human Genome Project, finished in 2003, mapped all 3 billion letters of our genetic code. That map changed medicine forever, opening doors to personalized treatment, genetic testing, and ancestry tracing. Chapter 6. DNA doesn't act alone. Genes, specific sections of DNA, are like instruction manuals for proteins. Proteins are the workers that build, repair, and regulate your body. Some genes stay silent, others switch on depending on environment or need. Even identical twins with the same DNA can develop differently because of how genes are turned on and off over time. Chapter 7. Epigenetics explains how your lifestyle can influence gene activity. Stress, diet, and sleep can leave chemical tags on your DNA, like bookmarks telling the cell which pages to read. These changes don't rewrite your DNA, but they can pass to future generations. It's science's way of showing how experience can echo through family lines. Chapter 8. Your DNA isn't just in your cells. Small fragments float in your blood too. That's how prenatal tests and liquid biopsies detect genetic conditions or even cancer early. Doctors can spot dangerous mutations before symptoms appear. It's like reading a health forecast written inside your own code. Chapter 9. Mutations aren't always bad. They're nature's experiments. One mutation gave humans blue eyes. Another helps some people digest milk as adults. Without mutations, evolution would stop. Most changes are neutral or repaired by enzymes, but some lead to breakthroughs or disasters in the human story. Chapter 10. You're carrying ancient DNA inside you. Traces of Neanderthals and Denisovans live in our genes, shaping how we respond to altitude, sunlight, and disease. Every cell holds history written in code, a biological time capsule of human survival and adaptation. Your DNA isn't just who you are, it's everyone who came before you. Chapter 11. DNA constantly repairs itself. Every day, sunlight, radiation, and chemicals damage it thousands of times. Yet your cells have built-in repair crews that fix the code almost instantly. Sometimes they make mistakes, tiny ones that over years accumulate and can lead to aging or cancer. In a way, time slowly edits our DNA, line by line. Chapter 12. There's a molecule similar to DNA called RNA. It acts like a messenger, carrying genetic instructions from DNA to build proteins. While DNA stays protected in the nucleus, RNA travels out into the cell's workshop. Without RNA, the code would never come to life. It's the bridge between blueprint and action, the spark that turns information into existence. Chapter 13. Your genetic code is read in groups of 3 letters, called codons. Each codon tells the cell which amino acid to use when building a protein. It's like reading a sentence 3 letters at a time. A single typo, a change in one letter, can completely alter the meaning, sometimes creating a new function, other times causing disease. Chapter 14. Humans have around 20,000 genes, but they make over 100,000 proteins. How? Because one gene can be used in different ways. It's like a sentence that can change meaning depending on how you read it. This flexibility is why life can be so complex from such a simple alphabet. Chapter 15. Only about 1.5% of your DNA actually codes for proteins. The rest was once called junk DNA, but now we know it's not junk at all. It helps regulate which genes turn on, when, and how much. It's like an orchestra conductor, silent, but directing the whole performance of life. Chapter 16. Your DNA is incredibly stable. Scientists have found fragments preserved for tens of thousands of years in fossils and ice. From that ancient code, we've reconstructed extinct species and traced migration routes of early humans. In every cell, you're holding a map of Earth's deep history, written in molecules, not ink. Chapter 17. Identical twins start with the same DNA, but they slowly drift apart genetically over time. Environmental factors, lifestyle, and random mutations create subtle differences. That's why one twin might develop a disease the other doesn't. It's nature showing that even identical isn't truly identical after all. Chapter 18. Forensic scientists use DNA to solve crimes. Even a single strand of hair or a drop of saliva can reveal who was present. DNA profiling compares patterns in certain regions unique to each person. It's the biological fingerprint, impossible to fake, unchanging through life. Justice, powered by molecules. Chapter 19. Your mitochondria, the powerhouses of cells, have their own DNA. It's tiny, circular, and passed down only from your mother. That's why scientists can trace maternal ancestry through mitochondrial DNA. It tells a story stretching back thousands of generations to a single woman, often called mitochondrial Eve. Chapter 20. In 2012, scientists discovered CRISPR, a natural gene editing system found in bacteria. It lets researchers cut, replace, or silence specific genes with incredible precision. The technology promises to cure inherited diseases, but also raises ethical questions. For the first time, humans can rewrite the very code of life, and that power changes everything. Chapter 21. Every cell in your body, except red blood cells, contains your entire DNA blueprint, yet only a fraction of it is used in each type of cell. A brain cell and a skin cell read different chapters of the same book. It's not about the code itself, but which parts get read. That's how one genome creates many forms of life within you. Chapter 22. DNA is copied through a process called replication. The double helix unwinds, and each strand serves as a template for a new one. Special enzymes add matching bases. A pairs with T, C pairs with G. In minutes, millions of letters are duplicated with near-perfect accuracy. It's biological printing done billions of times every day. Chapter 23. When you donate blood or saliva for ancestry tests, scientists extract DNA and compare it with databases of global populations. Small genetic markers reveal where your ancestors lived and how they migrated. You carry traces of ancient travelers, DNA that crossed mountains, oceans, and time to make you, you. Chapter 24. The study of genetics has transformed medicine. Doctors can now test for hereditary diseases before symptoms appear. Some treatments even target specific gene mutations, making medicine more personal than ever. It's not just curing illness, it's understanding the patient at the code level. Chapter 25. Genetic engineering doesn't stop with humans. Farmers use it to grow crops resistant to drought and pests. Scientists modify bacteria to produce insulin and vaccines. DNA. Chapter 27. DNA can store more information than any computer chip. A single gram can hold over 200 petabytes of data. Scientists have already encoded movies, music, and books into DNA. One day, biological storage could replace hard drives, data preserved for centuries inside living molecules. Chapter 28. Each of your chromosomes has protective caps called telomeres. They shorten a little every time a cell divides, acting like a biological clock. When telomeres get too short, cells stop dividing, a key part of aging. Some scientists are studying how to slow this process, hoping to extend healthy life by preserving DNA's edges. Chapter 29. Your immune system remembers past infections by editing certain immune cell DNA. It's a natural form of gene modification, a living archive of every battle your body's ever fought. That's how vaccines work. They teach your DNA-trained cells to recognize invaders before they can harm you. Chapter 30. DNA barcoding helps scientists identify species quickly. A tiny sample, a feather, a leaf, or a drop of blood can confirm an organism's identity through a short DNA segment. It's revolutionized ecology and conservation, uncovering hidden species and tracking biodiversity across the planet. Chapter 31. DNA isn't just in your body, it's everywhere. You shed it constantly, in your hair, skin, and breath. Environmental DNA, or eDNA, lets scientists detect animals in a river or microbes in the air without ever seeing them. Every ecosystem carries invisible genetic footprints of life. Chapter 32. Your genome is like a constantly updated document. Enzymes proofread, copy, and sometimes rearrange sections to adapt or repair. Some ancient viruses even left their code inside ours. Fossilized infections now part of human DNA. Nearly 8% of your genome comes from viral ancestors. You're partly built from ancient invaders. Chapter 33. Each human chromosome carries thousands of genes arranged in specific order. Chromosome 1 is the largest, holding around 2,000 genes. Chromosome Y, the smallest, determines male traits. Errors like missing or extra chromosomes cause conditions such as Down syndrome. Even one misplaced piece can change an entire life. Chapter 34. Some creatures, like octopuses, can edit their own RNA, changing how their genes are expressed on the fly. Humans can't do that naturally, but studying it might one day help us rewrite damaged cells. Nature already solved many problems we're just beginning to understand. Chapter 35. The genome isn't silent during sleep. While you rest, cells repair damaged DNA and restabilize genetic expression. Poor sleep disrupts this process, leading to faster aging and weakened immunity. Rest isn't just recovery for the mind, it's maintenance for your code. Chapter 36. Identical twins don't share fingerprints, even with the same DNA. That difference comes from how cells divide in the womb. The genetic blueprint is the same, but the execution varies. It's proof that DNA is the plan, not the full picture. Environment still paints the details. Chapter 37. DNA testing for ancestry works by comparing specific markers called SNPs, tiny points where human DNA differs. Patterns in these markers reveal relationships between populations, migrations, and even ancient interbreeding. Your saliva can tell stories thousands of years long. Chapter 38. Bacteria exchange DNA through plasmids, small circular molecules that transfer between cells. This allows them to share antibiotic resistance like trading cards. It's evolution in real time, showing how fast life adapts under pressure. Chapter 39. In cloning, scientists copy DNA to recreate an entire organism. Dolly the sheep, cloned in 1996, proved that a .DNA could grow into a new life. The process raised deep ethical questions, not about possibility, but about how far humanity should go in reshaping creation. Chapter 40. Radiation can break DNA strands apart, causing mutations. That's why nuclear exposure, X-rays, and even sunlight must be balanced carefully. Yet, without sunlight, our DNA can't trigger vitamin D production. Life survives in balance. Too little or too much energy rewrites the script entirely. Chapter 41. Your DNA determines taste perception. Some people find cilantro fresh, others think it tastes like soap, all because of a single gene variant. The same goes for bitterness, sweetness, and even caffeine sensitivity. Your flavor world is coded long before your first meal. Chapter 42. DNA works with time. Every cell carries a biological rhythm influenced by genes that control sleep, hunger, and body temperature. These clock genes synchronize your internal day with the Earth's rotation. When they misfire, jet lag or insomnia follows, proof that even your sense of time is genetic. Chapter 43. Some species can regrow limbs because their DNA activates repair genes humans no longer use. Salamanders, for example, rebuild entire organs through genetic instructions we still carry in silent form. Unlocking them could redefine healing, turning myth into biology. Chapter 44. Your DNA folds in intricate 3D shapes inside the nucleus. That folding pattern affects which genes can be accessed and when. Think of it as origami for life. One fold opens a chapter, another hides it. Understanding this structure may hold the key to curing complex diseases. Chapter 45. Viruses use DNA or RNA to hijack your cells. Once inside, they insert their genetic code into yours, forcing your body to make copies of them. Some, like herpes, hide in your genome for life. You're a mix of your own code and ancient viral ghosts still whispering in it. Chapter 46. Genetic recombination happens during reproduction, shuffling DNA between chromosomes. That's why siblings don't look identical, even with the same parents. It's a natural randomizer, reshaping genes to keep populations healthy and adaptive. Chapter 48. DNA can be turned into art. Scientists have visualized genetic code as music, color, or sculpture, transforming molecular data into creative expression. It's proof that life's instructions aren't just chemistry, they're patterns, capable of inspiring art as much as biology. Chapter 49. Some plants can duplicate their entire DNA sets, a process called polyploidy. It makes them bigger, stronger, or more resilient. Wheat, cotton, and strawberries all carry multiple copies of their genomes. Nature doesn't fear redundancy, it thrives on it. Chapter 50. Your DNA changes with age. Methylation patterns, chemical marks on the genome, shift predictably over time. Scientists can now estimate biological age by reading these marks, sometimes more accurately than counting years. In your code, time leaves its signature. Chapter 51. DNA doesn't dissolve easily. In the right conditions, it can survive for tens of thousands of years, even after flesh and bone are gone. That's how scientists recovered genetic material from mammoths and ancient humans, letting us read stories buried beneath ice and soil. Chapter 52. Your sense of smell is written in DNA. Humans have about 400 active olfactory genes, each responding to different molecules. Some people can detect scents others can't because certain smell genes are switched off. Your personal world of aroma is shaped by your code. Chapter 53. Every time you eat, enzymes break food into molecules that interact with your DNA. Nutrigenomics studies how different diets influence gene expression. The right nutrients can activate protective genes, while poor diets can switch on harmful ones. You literally eat instructions for your body's future. Chapter 54. DNA can act as a time capsule for crime scenes. Even decades later, forensic teams can extract genetic traces from old evidence. Cold cases are being solved worldwide because DNA doesn't forget. It silently waits to tell its story. Chapter 55. Your DNA glows under ultraviolet light when stained with special dyes in a lab. Scientists use this glow to visualize genetic material during experiments. What looks like simple blue light reveals the very foundation of life, shimmering in color. Chapter 56. Certain fish and reptiles can change their sex because of DNA-regulated temperature responses. The same genome can produce male or female traits depending on the environment. It's biology's reminder that genes are not rigid. They adapt with context. Chapter 57. Synthetic DNA is now used to build artificial organisms. Scientists have created cells with custom-made genetic codes never found in nature. These engineered microbes can produce fuel, medicine, and biodegradable materials, rewriting evolution's rules one sequence at a time. Chapter 58. DNA isn't perfect. It's full of ancient errors that never got fixed. Some are harmless, others silent, and a few turned into useful features over time. Evolution doesn't delete mistakes. It learns to live with them. Every imperfection tells a story of survival. Chapter 59. When you feel pain or pleasure, it's your genes controlling receptors and chemicals in your brain. Variations in these genes decide how sensitive you are to stimuli. Some people feel pain less intensely. Others experience emotions more deeply. Your DNA shapes not just your body, but your feelings too. Chapter 60. Even extinct species can leave DNA echoes behind. Scientists have found genetic material from Neanderthals influencing human traits like immune response and metabolism. You carry traces of ancient cousins who walked the earth long before history began. Their code lives on inside you. Chapter 61. DNA replication errors happen more often than you think. Millions of times a day, but specialized enzymes called polymerases catch and correct almost all of them. This proofreading keeps your code stable across trillions of cells. Perfection isn't possible, but biology comes impressively close. Chapter 62. Some people are born with extra copies of certain genes, giving them rare advantages, like ultra-strong bones or enhanced oxygen use. These genetic quirks are natural experiments in evolution, small previews of what the future human body might become. Chapter 63. Your DNA influences how you respond to medicine. Pharmacogenomics studies how genetic differences affect drug metabolism. The same pill can heal one person and harm another, all because of a single variation in their code. The future of healthcare is personalized down to your genes. Chapter 64. DNA fingerprints are made by comparing repeating sequences called STRs, short tandem repeats. No two people, except identical twins, share the exact same pattern. It's the reason DNA evidence is nearly impossible to dispute in modern forensics. Chapter 65. When you age, some of your DNA gets copied into circular fragments called extra-chromosomal DNA. They don't belong to chromosomes, but still affect how genes behave. Scientists suspect these circles play a role in cancer and aging. Like genetic echoes, Chapter 66. Even bacteria have defense systems in their DNA. CRISPR sequences are actually memories of past viral infections. When the same virus attacks again, the bacteria recognize and destroy it. Humans borrowed that natural trick for gene editing, a defense turned into innovation. Chapter 67. The structure of DNA can twist into alternative shapes beyond the famous double helix. There's even a zDNA that coils in the opposite direction. These rare shapes may regulate genes in ways scientists are only beginning to understand. Life's script can be folded in many forms. Chapter 68. Certain genetic conditions give humans resistance to diseases. For example, People with a specific mutation in the CCR5 gene are naturally immune to HIV. Evolution hides powerful defenses in our DNA, some accidental, some life-saving. Chapter 69. Scientists can now trace migration patterns of ancient humans using tiny changes in DNA. By comparing genetic signatures from bones and living populations, they've mapped journeys out of Africa, across oceans, and through millennia. Every person carries the story of Earth's exploration within them. Chapter 70. Your DNA influences personality traits too. It doesn't dictate who you are, but it nudges tendencies: introversion, empathy, curiosity. Experience and environment write the rest. You're both nature and nurture, forever intertwined in one unfolding code. Chapter 71. Your DNA changes slightly every time your cells divide. These micro-mutations accumulate slowly, creating subtle differences between your tissues. By adulthood, no two cells in your body have perfectly identical DNA. You're a living mosaic of tiny genetic variations. Chapter 72. Animals like tardigrades protect their DNA from radiation using special proteins that wrap around it like armor. This allows them to survive in space, boiling water, or freezing temperatures. Nature has already solved DNA protection better than any human technology. Chapter 73. DNA can be read backward and still make sense. Some genes overlap or share regions that code for different proteins, depending on where reading begins. Evolution conserves space, packing multiple instructions into the same line, like writing two stories in one sentence. Chapter 74. When stress hormones flood your body, they can influence which genes turn on. Chronic stress alters gene expression linked to inflammation and immunity. Emotional pressure literally writes Chapter 75. The Y chromosome, passed from father to son, is shrinking through evolution. Over millions of years, it has lost most of its original genes. Some scientists predict it might disappear one day. Yet life will adapt, as it always has, rewriting reproduction's rules. Chapter 76. DNA from different organisms can be combined in the lab to create hybrids known as transgenic organisms. Glowing jellyfish genes have been inserted into plants and animals for research. It's not science fiction, it's reality reshaping biology for discovery. Chapter 77. Some sections of your DNA act like switches. They don't code for proteins but control when other genes turn on or off. A single misplaced switch can lead to major disorders, proving that regulation is as important as the code itself. Chapter 78. A virus called bacteriophage T4 injects its DNA into bacteria like a tiny syringe. Within minutes, it hijacks the cell's machinery to make more viruses. It's life's smallest war, fought entirely through code, invisible but relentless. Chapter 79. In identical twins, one may develop cancer while the other doesn't. The cause often lies in epigenetic differences, subtle changes in how their shared DNA is read. Even when the script is the same, life's performance can change dramatically. Chapter 80. Some jellyfish are biologically immortal thanks to a gene that resets their DNA after injury. Instead of aging, they revert to earlier life stages and start over. Understanding these genes might one day help humans slow or even reverse aging itself. Chapter 81. Your DNA interacts with the microbiome, trillions of microbes living inside you. Their genes influence digestion, mood, and immunity. In fact, your body contains more microbial genes than human ones. You're not just one organism, you're an ecosystem of shared DNA. Chapter 82. Some people have genetic superpowers. A few can hold their breath unusually long because of extra red blood cell production genes. Others resist malaria due to a mutation that also causes sickle cell traits. Evolution trades balance. Every gift comes with a cost. Chapter 83. DNA analysis has reshaped archaeology. From a single tooth, scientists can reveal ancient diets, diseases, and family ties. Entire civilizations have been genetically reconstructed, connecting modern populations with forgotten ancestors. History now speaks through molecules instead of ruins. Chapter 84. Your DNA determines how fast you metabolize caffeine. Some people clear it quickly, feeling only a mild buzz, while others stay jittery for hours. The difference comes down to one gene, CYP1A2. Even your morning coffee is a personal experiment in genetics. Chapter 85. DNA methylation acts like punctuation in your code, marking where genes start or stop. These tiny chemical tags change as you age, reflecting stress, diet, and environment. They don't alter letters. They change the meaning. Your DNA is a book that rewrites itself daily. Chapter 86. Dogs can be identified by DNA just like humans. Genetic testing reveals their breed mix, ancestry, and even risk of inherited disease. From purebreds to street dogs, every wagging tail carries a molecular family tree. Chapter 87. Scientists discovered that music can influence gene expression in cells. Certain frequencies trigger reactions linked to stress reduction and growth. Sound waves interacting with DNA hint at a deep connection between biology and vibration. Life literally responds to rhythm. Chapter 88. In extreme cold, some animals change gene activity to produce antifreeze proteins. These keep their blood from freezing solid. It's a genetic adaptation so clever that scientists study it for organ preservation and cryogenics. Evolution finds warmth even in ice. Chapter 89. Gene drives use engineered DNA to spread traits rapidly through populations. Scientists designed them to control mosquitoes carrying malaria, altering nature's balance at genetic speed. It's a reminder that power over DNA must come with. Chapter 90. Your DNA is so unique that even identical twins diverge over time through somatic mutations and environmental effects. No copy is ever perfect. Every second, your body edits, fixes, and rewrites small pieces of you, proving that identity is a moving target written in code. Chapter 91. Some viruses use RNA instead of DNA to store genetic information. They mutate quickly, which makes them adaptable but unpredictable. That's why flu vaccines change every year. We're chasing a moving genetic target that evolves faster than our defenses. Chapter 92. DNA can fold into nanostructures. Scientists use it to build tiny machines, cages, switches, even drug delivery systems that open only inside cancer cells. It's molecular origami, turning code into technology. The line between biology and engineering keeps fading. Chapter 93. Certain genes activate only once in a lifetime. In the womb, they shape organs, then go silent forever. Others wake up during puberty or pregnancy. Your DNA is like a symphony. Every section plays at the right moment, then fades into quiet precision. Chapter 94. Even identical pieces of DNA behave differently depending on the cell they're in. Context matters. A gene that causes cancer in one tissue might heal damage in another. DNA is not destiny. It's potential shaped by circumstance. Chapter 95. Some scientists are exploring DNA computing, using strands of genetic material to solve complex problems faster than traditional computers. Instead of electric signals, these machines process chemical reactions. The next frontier of computing might grow, not build. Chapter 96. You can trace paternity through DNA because half your genome comes from your father. The test compares repeating patterns in specific regions. A perfect match confirms biological link. Your very existence is a blend of two lineages written into one sequence. Chapter 97. The way your body handles alcohol depends on genetic enzymes. Some people flush red or feel sick after drinking because their DNA processes ethanol differently. It's not tolerance or willpower. It's chemistry written into your code. Chapter 98. Your DNA records trauma across generations. Studies show that descendants of people who faced extreme stress, like famine or war, carry altered gene expression related to fear and metabolism. Memory doesn't just live in minds, it echoes in molecules. Chapter 99. DNA sequencing has found life in places once thought sterile: boiling vents, deep caves, even clouds. Everywhere we look, we find the same familiar spiral. The language of life is universal, written once and spoken by everything that breathes. Chapter 100. In the end, DNA is both story and structure, the script of your body, the archive of your past, and the seed of your future. It connects you to every living thing, from bacteria to galaxies of thought. Within its tiny spiral lies everything you've ever been and everything you might become. From the first spark of life to the endless future of evolution, your DNA carries the story of existence. Every cell whispers a part of that tale, ancient, personal, and alive. You're not just made of code. You're made of history, wonder, and infinite possibility.